About 85 miles south of Indianapolis is a rural town called Medora, Indiana, which grabbed national attention for its basketball record, but not in a good way. In 2009, the Medora High School boys basketball team went 0-22 in the Hoosier state. In the midst of that losing streak, the town was also hit hard by the economic downturn. And that's what drew two filmmakers to move to the town and tell the story of Medora. I'm thrilled to have the co-directors of Medora, Andrew Cohn and Davy Rothbart, with me now. Davy, the first thing that I thought of in seeing this as a kid who grew up wanting to be an NBA player and wound up being a decent pickup basketball player is, how did you find these guys, and how did you latch on to this story about basketball? And it's a lot more than basketball. How did you find it? How did you decide this is what you wanted to do?
Sure. We read a great article in the New York Times by John Branch about the town of Medora, Indiana, and this basketball team. And, you know, most sports documentaries, they're trying to win the championship. This story, you know, was a team trying to win one single game. So kind of every game had the drama and intensity of a championship game. You know, could this be the one game that Medora wins? And also, we were struck by, Andrew and I are from Michigan. We're from Ann Arbor, Michigan. And, you know, all the small towns outside of Ann Arbor, you see this happening. The manufacturing jobs go away, farming is hit hard, and you have towns just kind of fade away. And so we wanted to tell the story of this town. We moved to Medora, Indiana for a year and captured, you know, the life of the people in the town who we really came to love, and also just, you know, their efforts to overcome these struggles.
Now, before I come to you, Andrew, I wanted to show a clip. We have part from the film of one of the stories that you guys told, one of the boys' stories that you told. Let's listen to a little bit of that, and we'll come back and talk more about it.
Hey, this is Dylan McSully. You might not know me, but I'm your son with Shannon Arnold. Well, it used to be Shannon McSully. And just would like to see you sometime and stuff. But I'll be in Orleans Friday. If you would like to come, I'm playing basketball with Medora High School.
You know, like I said, Andrew, at the start, this is about a lot more than basketball. Obviously, that's just heart-wrenching stuff. This town I mentioned in the beginning, this is a town that just struggled economically. It's just it's struggling overall. It's struggling to stay up with the times. It's struggling to keep its kids there. It's struggling, you know, obviously on a much lighter note, but struggling to win basketball games. Tell me how what's happening nationally in the economy, how that influenced these kids, how these kids' lives are different than they might be if they didn't grow up in a town like Medora.
Right. Well, you know, the trend has been people leaving these small towns, you know, and that's no secret. And what's happened to Medora, it didn't happen overnight. There used to be a plastics factory there. Of course, it was a sort of a booming sort of farm town a long time ago. And what's happened is that, you know, you know, where we're from, outside of Detroit, you know, if a factory leaves, yes, it hurts the economy, but it doesn't mean it's the end of Detroit. We've seen Detroit starting to come back. In a town of 500 or 600 people, when you lose manufacturing like that and people start to leave to go to bigger cities for more opportunities, what's left behind? And Medora, so sort of what we tried to explore in the movie is what Medora used to be, what it's like now, and sort of what's led up to that. And it's a complicated issue. It's not something where there's this boogeyman who is, you can point the finger and say, oh, that's it. They're also struggling to hold on to their school. And so in a lot of rural towns, because of school consolidation, that's really hurt the towns as well. You know, it's the identity of the town and the threat. One of the storylines we followed, besides the kids in the basketball season, was the threat of their school being taken away. And that's very serious to these people. You know, they don't want to consolidate. They want to hold on to their school. They want to hold on to their identity. So there's this real push and pull between, do we hold on to our heritage or do we sort of move forward? And I think that's what the movie is about. It really explores sort of where we are as a country, and if we are going to move forward, what does that mean? And what are we leaving behind? And these small towns, I think, are important. And I want people to think about what these small towns mean to the country. And yeah.
Davy, we got about a minute left, but I think this is important. Sure. The kids, obviously, are the centerpiece of that in both heart-wrenching and kind of inspiring ways. What do these kids want? Are they do they want what any kid from any town in America wants? What I wanted growing up, which is to start on my basketball team. Is there what is it that you guys found? You weren't there for 2 weeks. You were there for a year. These families in some meaningful way. What do these kids really want out of their high school life and their life more broadly? And what can they hope for? Chris. Let me add, what can they hope for?
It's something I talked a lot with kids like Dylan McSoley and Rusty Rogers and Robbie Armstrong. We asked, what do you want? And I think what they want is opportunity. These are great kids who, are just passionate kids. They fight so hard to overcome some really great odds that are stacked against them. And they want the chances that people have anywhere. They're hard workers. They want a chance to work a job and, raise a family. They're not trying to be in the NBA. They're just trying to, raise a family and support themselves and support the people around them. And the odds have been stacked against them, but we saw amazing resilience in these kids, and we saw kids who have overcome a lot already and are going to continue to overcome things. But they also want their town to survive. That town, Medora, means so much to people. If you go to the website, it's medorafilm.com. And at the medorafilm.com website, there's other clips people can see and learn more about the town and the players who we followed.
Davy Rothbart, Andrew Cohn. That's medorafilm.com, the co-directors. Thank you, guys. It's a great and important story told through a fascinating window. Thank you.